All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is all my fault. I had an old person technical error there. Um, I had no idea where the volume was being controlled from, but we're back. We had a little mishap. That was my fault, but we are here with a very long episode. I mean, what a week! What a week and a half.
Hmm.
Uh,
Oh, let me plug this real quick.
yeah, I'll do the same.
Send mine out. Don't send yours out. Reason being the
Ooh,
whole
that's smart.
thing. You know, you know how we do.
We 1,000 IQ player right there, man.
I mean, I do what I can. I
All
do what I
right,
can.
gather in, sit back down. Sorry for the false alarm, children. But we're here. All right. I can't believe Lee Corso retired, man. I guess this is where we got to start off.
Yeah, I'm gonna save all of my. He should have retired 4 years ago. It's to respect to the legend. I'm not gonna hate on anybody after all that he did for the sport of
And
college
that he
football.
was able to get back on TV and get like having a stroke at that age. I think Lee Corso is like 90.
He's up there. I don't know how old he is, but he's up there.
Him and Dickie V, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like just take a second to think about how much work it takes for them to rehab. I mean, just like the essential things of life at such an old age. I mean, just major shout out to. I mean, Dickie V's not done yet, but you know what? Nor is Lee Corso. He's got one more in him. He's got a Vince Carter in him.
Mm-hmm.
He's got one more in him. So we'll see you August 30th. That is the date for the last college football game day with Lee Corso, and I think it is a unanimous campaign. And just like how John Madden's name is forever immortalized within his game of Madden, I feel like Lee Corso should be within College Game Day. I always feel like it should just be Lee Corso's College Game Day, where it's just you gotta put his name like right front and center somewhere because
Mm-hmm.
I mean that's his baby. He built for I don't even know how many years, much longer than I've been alive.
38. I don't
Yeah,
know, but my one request: please do not stop doing the headgear. Please, do not let that die.
they
If
can't.
they
They
if
can't.
they stop doing that, that's going to be the worst decision they've ever made. I
That's
feel like.
what every episode leads up to.
Yes, that is the whole premise. Of people tune in to the last 10 minutes to see the picks and the headgear.
I
Don't
have
don't stop doing it.
I have all of that muted until the last 10 minutes. And then when they actually get around to saying the important stuff, and like obviously there's important stuff that they say like
Yeah.
throughout the entire episodes with injury updates, stories,
Hmm.
coaching tidbits, here and there, whatever you want to call it. But like,
But
that's what we're here for. We're here. We're
especially for
here
the
to see.
casual, like you wake up
Yeah.
at 11:45, turn it on, football all day. Perfect.
All right. What should I expect today? Give me a rundown. 10 minutes. So,
I really hope Pat does it. I hope they keep Pat. I hope that he
yeah,
continues to travel with him. I feel like he's the perfect replacement. He has the
yeah.
energy. For some reason people don't like him. I don't know why. Maybe he's too good at his job. I think that's the issue. Like whenever he was describing how people were talking to him in Athens, I hated that for him because like he's so cool. He's the perfect fit for that job. If you were trying to make somebody perfect for that job, it'd be him. I wouldn't want anybody else to, personally.
I mean, that's just Pittsburgh, man. That's just you can't change that, man. You can't change that whole crew. That is just
Mm-hmm.
some stooges at its finest. Um, but yeah, I mean, we're here. What do you got some thoughts on the spring portal? I know I said I didn't want to go over player by player, just like some entries or stuff like that. But I figured I'd just ask, like, who do you got as a surprising entry so far?
The biggest surprise, because I think that we know who that one is.
Oh,
Nico. But
well,
outside of that,
yeah.
I'm not surprised at all that Nitro entered. Like I kind of quit caring. To be completely honest, I quit caring what he did with his program, so I'm not upset that he left. Marquise, or I don't know how to. I don't.
Offensive line.
Yeah, Ely or Easley, whatever his name is. Not to be disrespectful. Um, there were rumors that he was and wasn't going to transfer or whatever. Wish the best for him. Actually, no, he also had the driving stuff.
Yeah,
But never mind.
thought that they
No, I
were
don't.
both
Never mind.
roped in that, weren't they?
Never mind. No, I don't. Yeah, don't care what they do. Never mind. I completely forgot that he was in part of that stuff too. Yeah. Really don't give a shit.
Fair. Things set up here. Yeah, I guess I'd say Jaden Ott. What about Oklahoma running back Jaden Ott?
I
I
thought that
mean,
was a little
new
strange.
new Oklahoma running back Jaden Ott. Former
I mean,
Cal.
he's probably been the Oklahoma running back for right after he signed that football for that girl, or not girl, but for that person. What was it?
Yeah,
3-4 days ago, he signed that ball and said, "I'm never leaving," and then 2 days later,
yeah.
portal.
Um,
I get it's a business, but sucks for
mhm.
fans, especially for like smaller schools like that. You get really attached to good players, and it's kind of like the Kyrie Irving situation in Boston. I'll be back next year, and he only
I
played
mean,
1 year.
especially it's already the spring, man.
Mm-hmm.
Like you're not expecting these guys to just like, especially if you're a big player, like the expectation is totally going to be that you have no, yeah, your contract and everything is fine. So,
Mm-hmm. My thing also is whenever people are getting these players out of the portal, like they're not committing to you either. You just paid them more. If they get another offer, they're going. Like they're not coming there based off of loyalty whatsoever. So like I feel like
there's
it's
no
a really
loyalty in
big
college
risk.
football. There's no loyalty in college football. I think if you want to, if you didn't think it was dead before whatever just happened with Nico, I mean, it's got ran over by about the downtown connector of Atlanta and the busiest highway in New York City and LA. Because
I hate that it's called free agents. No, it's not. Just they're not student athletes anymore. They're free agents. Like
I don't even know what to call it.
that's what that's what they were calling them now. They were like the biggest free agents in college football, and that's like the vision that I had for NIL in college football was completely like the version that's in NCAA 25, 26. What? 25. Yeah. How you do certain things, you have to spend time out of your day to go do these certain things. And that does happen. Like, people, there are some athletes in commercials, but the fact that it's strictly, or maybe not strictly, but like a lot of it is just from boosters and stuff like that. Like I feel like that's the complete wrong way to go about this. And I mean, I'm sure that's pretty obvious, but it sucks.
What do you think about this?
Nico Iamaleava's dad said that leaving Tennessee wasn't about the money, but because of Josh Heupel's offense. If we're going to talk about sports, we are going to do it with factual information. Here's how Nico's 2024 season compared with every other Heupel quarterback he's had since 2017. I read that horribly. Not great. Click on it real quick. On the picture. Dude, it's not the money, it's the offense. That was hilarious.
Shout out Chris Marler, man.
He's a damn dog. He'll never get enough credit.
I know. Or he'll never get enough jobs. And look at this.
Third lowest QBR, second lowest scoring offense. 5 of the other 7 finished top 10.
This really made me think today. This man had Joe Milton putting up numbers.
Lowest yards per play and only team to not finish top 20 since 2017.
Joe Milton did that.
Heupel's been there since 2017. No,
he's been there for a good couple of years. Hendon Hooker.
No way he's been there since 2017. He's no shot.
After UCF, what's that? Oklahoma, I think. Joe Milton, and then Nico.
I'm looking it up right now.
He's been at Tennessee for like 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, but that would just be 2020. Okay, yeah, 2021 to present. Yeah, I was like, okay, there's no shot. I was gonna go crazy. It's like, wait, what? But I get what he meant now. That's wild though. Even with because who was 2017? That was
Butch Jones.
Put the Vows in the back. Oh,
no, not Butch Jones.
P-Dog.
What's his name?
Big JP.
Jeremy Pruitt. Yeah.
You know he's suing though.
Dude, everybody's getting sued these days.
Okay.
I'll try to keep it within the lines on the timeline and in here. I mean, we just talk ball and have fun.
I mean, I guess if you sue them for a lot of money, then they'll settle for a little bit of money. So, I mean, the NCAA, let them cook. Let me put my name down on that. Maybe I can get something.
Right. But yeah, so we had that the Nico situation. I guess we just talk about the Nico situation for a little bit. I mean, so there's this report by Colin Cowherd, who Colin Cowherd is. I don't know if I would want to volunteer to be the sports mascot of LA, as in the media, but that is what Colin Cowherd is. And he said that he was told that just now it wasn't over the money. I mean, we all saw the tweet. And it has been a full sunrise to sunset since that tweet was posted. And it is still not official yet. So obviously, anybody could have posted that. And the Athletic said they got somebody that was briefed about the situation or about like what their plan was. Someone that was briefed on the situation, or
probably some family members,
told their reporters. It's just like we all know it's gonna happen because he has no other. He's got no other option.
Yeah, now he doesn't. The grass is not always greener. I mean,
my guy Bluntman over at Barstool was saying Tulane was offering some real cash, and this got me thinking: why is Tulane offering real deal cash now when they spent money on TJ Finley? Like, where was this last portal cycle? And obviously, with TJ Finley having this situation, that's why they want a quarterback. But it didn't happen. It was probably never going to happen. It was so no Tulane, no North Carolina. Bill Belichick, that was never going to happen. And there was
Bill would be the last one to put up with all that.
Yeah. Like USC was rumored at first. I know I did tweet like expect Nico to go to USC. I should have said Southern California, as in just like an area. Meaning USC, UCLA, Stanford. I could have just like said I was right for a whole bunch of things. But it was obvious he was going to go back to Cali with his family. We're at home. So I don't know what the situation is with UCLA, but it's not done. Like UCLA could just say, all right, I don't want to deal with this guy. I don't want to deal with this dad. I don't want to get in this PR nightmare anymore that I'm in, and just pull the plug.
Yeah.
So
I don't blame anybody who backs out on this situation. Who doesn't want to pay a lot of money, because I mean, Tennessee had probably the most money that he's going to get.
And Nico's got to stay in college for another year after next year.
He does.
Well, yeah, because he redshirted his whole. Well, I guess he could go because he's a junior.
No, he can go after this year.
He's not going to. He's not going to. If Nico declares for the draft after whatever season, or if he has a season, upcoming, I would be shocked.
He could pull a what's his name?
Mitchell Trubisky.
No. Newman that was going from Wake
Oh,
Forest. He was going to
Jamie
Georgia.
Newman.
Yeah, and then sat out. Yeah, I could
The
totally
guy's
see him being the first one to do that in about 4 years. Like, we're going to train for the NFL. All right. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you go ahead, man.
mhm,
You're going to kill it in the XFL.
right. So I mean, it is insane the world that we live in, and I don't know
Stallions
how.
QB1.
That's Matt Corral right now.
That's actually true. He wouldn't win that job, so never mind. He can't win anything.
Well, I mean, not if his dad's making choices for him. I see. I don't understand. As a human being, he's not a kid. Like he had to sign off on everything.
Mhm.
His dad couldn't sign it for him and say, "Okay, well, I already signed it."
Well, I mean, you can
So
give your parents permission. I mean, when you're in college.
he's an adult. They have to have his signature on a lot of this
They
stuff. I mean,
do,
this is
but I
his
mean,
life. So it's
he
just
is only 19. I mean, he's legally an adult, but like,
I don't know what he was
me at
offered.
19.
I don't know what he
God,
was
that was old.
offered to even do this. Like, I mean, did he hate Tennessee that much? Was he that uncomfortable?
Oh, I just think that Tennessee told him to shove it after they said we want more money, and then they got upset and probably just dipped. I mean, I'm sure it was as simple as that. They got found out. Tennessee got pissed off at the fact that they were shopping him around since as late as last year during the playoffs. After
Yeah,
they
like a
said that they were going to
threatening
sit
to
out in
sit
the
out.
playoffs, I'd be completely done. Tennessee might have kicked him off the team, and they might just say, "Oh, we'll let you say you leave, but we're not doing with this anymore. You can go ahead and pack your bags." That's what I'd do.
Right.
And then I saw
Right.
people that were getting mad at Tennessee in certain group chats for this whole situation. They're like, "Oh, you're going to lose more games now." At what point? You have to draw a line between losing games and losing your program,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because you can lose a couple games this year, and next year be all right if you can get, you can rebuild, call it a rebuild year, whatever. But if you keep Nico, the team morale may go down, and then that leads a whole trickle down effect to people thinking it's kind of like Miami. People thinking that they can just take advantage of you because you have these deep pockets and not care about football. Who does that sound like? Oh, the Miami quarterback right now. I don't know. What do I know?
Nothing.
Guess not.
But yeah, man. I mean,
Also,
there's
by
been a
Miami
lot.
quarterback, I don't mean Cam Ward. Shout out to the legend.
Yeah. Prayers up for Florida State today, man. Prayers up for Florida State. FSU is just terrible.
You ever been to Tallahassee?
No.
The campus is really cool. I like it.
I do have. I had a close buddy, who Clay Fink. Yeah. Gave him a call. He told me a little story about where he was, and he wasn't anywhere near it, but he just saw cop cars flying, and he's all good. But he said he walks that path like every day to class, so it's like just insane things going on in the world.
That's like the situation that happened at Georgia. Not to get on two depressing topics, but it was just a pathway that a lot of students walked, and just crazy event happened. It's terrible.
Did you see this from Prairie View A&M's head coach?
Maybe. Probably not. A few things to understand.
This is their head coach.
Uh-huh. When I follow you, there's a 4-hour window to follow back, or we're done. Or we done. Send your number, transcripts, and highlight in the first minute. That's crazy. Make sure you address my staff as coach and not bro or by first / last
I like
name.
that.
I feel like you can't say that if you spell highlight like that, but I don't know. don't ask me for NIL, which we do have. Glad he clarified. When PFF has you as taking less than 200 snaps on the year, you should have gotten your money from them. Now it's time to play. Pray, talk to your family, girlfriend, dog, and any other people before we offer you, not after you take 80 visits. I'm going to want to know ASAP. Yeah, no shot. There's absolutely no way.
That's their head coach. I
That's,
love it. That is incredible.
I wouldn't.
Coach kept it real, if you ask me. If you ask me,
I mean,
Coach kept it real.
There's a point where you can keep it real, and then there's a point where I don't know. I would not. That just if I'm going strictly for business stuff, and I'm like I'll treat football as a business. There's no way. There's no shot.
Yeah,
I think he has the right idea. I just think the execution was a little off. Because like you want to have player coaches, like that's like Shane Beamer. He's always trying to be a player's coach. And I respect that. There's Fran Brown. Fran Brown had that hilarious quote. He was like, because like that's keeping it real to me. Like maybe I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't talk on a kid after he leaves, but it was funny, so I'm not mad. But he said, what was it? You can go to Ohio State. We're not paying $2 million for a wide receiver.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Let me pull that up from Fran Brown. That was awesome. Or actually, no, we just keep it at that. That's all it was. It was literally just Fran Brown joined as they had like some media press thing. It was like via Zoom. He was in his office and he just kept it real. I mean, he said, if you're a wide receiver that's looking to make $2 million, that's little bro, not so little Jeremiah Smith. He was foreshadowing at Ohio State. And Pena is a great receiver. Put up great numbers last year. Don't know what number he was making at Syracuse and where he's going. There's ties to Miami per reports by On3 and 24/7. I know, right? There's no ACC rule where you can't transfer within conference in spring, but obviously we all know there's the SEC rule. So that's why you see less SEC guys hitting the portal and more out of conference because they have more freedom.
I think it's a good rule to have, honestly.
Yes.
Because people could just dip. So many people would leave for other SEC teams. It wouldn't be funny.
That would be bad. So yeah, that would be pretty bad. But did you see what happened with Cal? How many running backs they lost?
Yeah, wasn't it like 4 or 5?
Yeah.
Because I felt like at some point, they would stay. Like the 3rd or 4th guy would stay. You just got a free starting spot at a Power 4 college. But
look at this. Yeah. In 48 hours, maybe a little bit more than 48 hours, Cal lost 5 scholarship running backs to the spring portal.
They're going strictly air raid.
They have 1 scholarship back, I think, returning from last year on the roster.
We are not running the ball here at Cal University.
I mean, this is the reality of what college football is. You literally wake up one day and then your entire running back room is gone. It's just insane.
University of California. My bad. Let me correct myself.
But as well in college football, just an honest question for you, Chandler. Have you looked at any teams upcoming next year? Like, do you got any takes on any teams for anything next year?
if Oklahoma is as bad as they were last year, Brent Venables will be a defensive coordinator somewhere. Don't know if that's even a take, but that's just if they're that bad, that's insane.
Yeah. Yeah. I will say that I think FSU is going to be really bad again.
Who's even their who do they get?
Tommy Castellanos from Boston College.
I like him, but just good luck. I mean,
yeah. No.
I mean, there's no way they could be worse than last year. So
okay, not as bad as last year. They're going to be like, but they're not.
If this is the bar is here for FSU.
Yeah, yeah. The ceiling is the roof.
Yeah, like this is. They're not even aiming for up here. They're just if they can just get to the right here. I think they'd be okay with it. Actually, that might be where they was last year. They need to get to here, right there. Then they can build and maybe get to the sleeve in 3 years.
Yep.
And if I had muscles, this would look like a flex. But we're working on that right now.
Okay, here's an interesting story as well. I know I need to keep myself more in line, man. Oh, how do you feel about B-Rob hitting the portal, man?
I hate it for him. I mean, injuries.
Can't avoid injury.
Yeah, injuries suck. I mean, he had 2 really unfortunate injuries for him, and I hope he has major success wherever he goes. I know it won't be in the SEC, but anywhere he'll go, maybe a change of scenery will be good for him. I'm excited for Georgia. I don't know if we're going to keep the other running back too that got hurt last year. I can't think of his name, but I wish nothing but the best for Branson. I'll never forget his run against Auburn, even if it was just one run and he was a freshman. But I'll never forget that. He was baby Nick Chubb at that point. It was, man. I think that also says, something about Nick Chubb and how he's came back from all his injuries. Because if he comes back and plays even close to what he was, I've seen him working out. He looks good and everything. Stuff like that, pause. But, we'll see.
Indeed. So, all right. How do you feel? Do you know what the backstory with Micah Hudson and, he transferred from Texas Tech to A&M, former 5-star receiver, and he had some family issue. He just had to completely go dark, 0 dark 30. But he's back in the portal, and there was a lot of reports during that time saying that he really was looking like he lost interest in the game of football. And I was concerned just him as a former 5-star athlete. I mean, you don't get there if you don't put in the work, and you don't get there if you're not good. So, he's already 3/4 of the way up the mountain. I mean, he's in top premier programs as a highly rated receiver. Great foundation. But he re-entered the transfer portal. And it's good to see that he is back within the realm of football. There was a proof of life from Mr. Hudson, and he is going to Utah this weekend to take a visit. Remember, did you ever watch the University of New Mexico last year? The Lobos.
Maybe one, because weren't they ranked? They were.
Do you know?
No. Who am I thinking of? UNLV?
Yeah.
That must be who I'm thinking of. No, I didn't know.
So they had a Kyler Murray, and his name's Dampier, and Dampier is now at Utah. So, and then you forget on top of that, Cam Ward still had, not Cam Ward, Cam Rising still has eligibility.
You hear that phone?
Yeah, I did. Who's calling into the show, man?
Who's calling my phone? Who's calling my phone? It'd be cool if Chris joined right now. That'd been kind of fun.
Yeah. I do got to text. I do have to text him.
If he joined right then, that would have been hilarious.
He's doing something with his little brother in baseball. Colorado starting center Cash Cleveland plans in the transfer portal. I think he was a former walk-on, turned freshman All-American. I don't know. Just happened right now. Breaking news from On3 and Pete Nakos. What else did we have on the itinerary today? Oh yeah, we had the NFL draft, and then we had a couple thousand other things. All right, take a look at this. So Ohio State's starting running back, or not starting running back. Let me just restart that. Ohio State's running back coach, Carlos Lachlan, who was hired from Oregon, which is like a major P4 job to major P4 job. Don't know if he got a pay raise or not, but like, obviously his money is very well fine. Like he's not worried. But if you guys do remember, there was a lot of tension about his departure. People called it soft or some things. I remember something being like about a cookie or something. He's like saying with a cookie. I don't know. But it was a very mean and bad breakup. And apparently Oregon is suing him because he didn't pay his buyout.
Wouldn't that be the school's responsibility, or do I not know how contracts work?
Well, he got hired away from Oregon to Ohio State.
Yeah, I thought the team paid for the because they're hiring him, they would have to pay that out, right? Or maybe that's just NFL. Maybe
I don't know, but I found it so I haven't seen anything like this, and I can remember. I mean, just like especially as a position coach. I mean, it's not a right or wrong statement here. It's just like everybody at that high of a coaching level has a buyout, and they all like that's bread and butter 101 contracts. I just find it weird how they're this like why now? Like he's been there for a whole year, like so long ago.
I really thought that was maybe I've just been so used to the NFL stuff like that. I really thought that do teams pay buyouts for contracts? Teams may pay buyouts for contracts. Okay. A buyout is a mutual agreement between a team and a player determining a contract. The player who is bought out receives a portion of the money owed from their contract. Buyouts occur when the team and player, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, okay. I know how a buyout works. I just figured the other team who was hiring the guy would always have to pay for that. Because, I mean, that's how they do it for head coaches, right? Like, if another team hires said coach, like, you have to pay that buyout back. I thought. I mean, I guess not.
I totally forgot that Ron Rivera was now the GM at Cal.
Mm-hmm.
You forget that too?
I knew he got hired in college football. I just couldn't remember where.
He's Cal's GM, who the team that just lost 5 running backs to the portal, and now I'm reading on my timeline. There is a arrow indicating that there is a donor revolt. I mean, the guy hasn't even played a spring game yet. He hasn't even had a spring game as a GM. They're already revolting, and it's a tough task to take on by old Ron there.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's tough. I mean, I guess it is in a sense like the NFL. You kind of have to, if the owner has a certain wish, you kind of have to, abide by it no matter what. I mean, they're paying your checks. You kind of have to. It's the same thing with boosters. I mean, they from a from a distance run the team. If they want somebody to play, I mean, they're going to play. It's not really, at the end of the day, it may not be a coach's decision, which it sucks that happens in sports, but because I mean that'll happen in the NFL all the time, or not the NFL, the NBA all the time. You may make a trade and maybe that guy's not that good, but the owner is going to want him to play 15, 20 minutes a night no matter what, even if he's a detriment to the team.
George Niang.
I like how we both had a name in mind right there.
Got me angry, man.
Well, they play tonight. They play in 2 hours.
We don't play tonight. We lose tonight.
I need to get the scenario again. But
I think we have to win this and then win again.
We just need the Grizzlies to win. If the Grizzlies win tonight, then we get Sacramento's pick. And we'll have the Lakers pick later. So we'll have 2 first-round picks. I think if we win and Orlando wins, we'll get the pick. But if the Mavs win and we lose, I think the Kings get their pick. So it's a whole ordeal because it may come down to a coin flip. We need if the Grizzlies win though, we're all good.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest join here in about a few minutes, so make sure you hold tight because we are not going anywhere today.
I'm calling my phone.
I'm calling my phone.
Okay, here it is. I got you. Actually, you know what? Let me just pull it up right here. I can show you. It's even easier.
Yeah. While we're on the topic of Atlanta sports, I hope to God Alex Verdugo hits a home run tonight or tomorrow.
I just want to win.
I could not stand seeing De La Cruz strike out another time. The guy sucks.
Heard that.
Jared Kelnick sticks. Stuart Fairchild sounds like Stuart needs to go back to 3rd grade.
I didn't think Stuart played anymore. Thankfully.
I saw him the other day. He went like.
Okay, here we go. So the pick would have been 15th if the Kings would have won, right? Because
this is a whole ordeal.
Yeah. So their standings would have went down. The numbers on the right. Purple's the Kings pick, red's the Hawks pick. So we got a lot of chances here, right? But do the Kings advance out of the play-in? They lost, so no. So we keep going. If it would have been yes, we would have got the 15th pick. Does Dallas get the 8th seed? Yes, they beat the Grizzlies. Or no, they lose to the Grizzlies. So we'll go with no because that helps us more. Actually, no, we'll just go yes because there's no reason to talk about the no because we would get the pick no matter what. If Dallas wins tonight, does Orlando or Atlanta make the playoffs? Yes, both of us. If that's the case, we get the 13th pick. If Orlando is the only one to make it, so if Atlanta loses tonight and Dallas wins, it'll be a coin flip between the Kings and the Hawks to get the pick. If we don't have to worry about
between pick 12 and 13.
Yeah, but that'll basically mean it's a coin flip for the pick. So if the Kings win the coin flip, they get the pick at 12. If they lose, or if the Hawks win the coin flip, then we get that pick at 13 because it's a top 12 protected pick. So if it's the 12th pick, the Kings get to keep it. We don't have to worry about the Atlanta only scenario because
is that going to happen? Is that even possible?
No, Orlando's already in the playoffs. So it's really, we're just worried about the...
Yes, both.
If we win tonight, none of this matters. That's the thing. We need to win. Like if both of us make it, we get the 13th pick. That's actually the best scenario. We get a guaranteed 13th pick. That would be perfect.
Yeah.
Or wait, no. This will be in the scenario that we would need Dallas to win. So we're either if we win, we're either going to get the 13th or the 14th pick, but we will get the pick. It doesn't matter what happens, and I'm fine with that. So if we win, we root for Dallas. If we lose, we root for the Grizzlies.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'll have a coin flip for the 13th or the 14th pick, but we get the pick. It'll just be where it ends up because we'll have to flip with Dallas, which is crazy because, or maybe not flip with Dallas. I don't know who we'll be flipping with, but we'll be flipping with somebody. And side note, if the Kings win the lottery, they keep the pick no matter what. So if they get the first pick, they keep the pick, I'm pretty sure.
Did you see what happened to West Virginia? In Rich Rod? They had more than 25 players hit the portal as soon as the spring window opened.
Damn. He should have stayed at JSU.
I mean, just like that's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
25 players in one morning in the spring.
There's just not 25 spots out there. Like
there's
spots?
Over 2,000 people in the portal.
That's what it just feels like a bunch of lateral movements, and maybe getting worse. Like if you're a bench player, I don't know. It's just I guess I hope that Nico situation just really opens up people's eyes that like this may be the best situation for you because there may not be another home for you at where you're looking for, at least the level you're looking for. And obviously, sometimes you have to go down to work your way back up, and that that happens a lot, even in regular jobs, right? But I don't know. There may not be a better situation than you're currently in, so just be careful. That's all I can say. And Thagala just went in the water. No, we didn't. You doing any betting tonight? I might throw down a little parlay. Might have to. Did you see Trent?
Yes. Freaking shout out Vladimir Guerrero Jr., man.
Dude.
Doing the Lord's work. I mean, it's just this guy should just speak more things into existence at this point.
Dude,
he's proved he can do it.
Leave the football before the football leaves you. I can't say it like Jamie, but leave the football before the football leaves you. I can't do it. Did you see his parlay though, where he had it was a 6-leg parlay and he hit on none of them?
Yeah, full fade.
Yeah,
shout out my guy Rav, man.
He had a Max Christie to score over 7 points. He had 2. Matas Bazilis to score 24 fantasy score. He had 21.2. Luis Rengifo to have 0.5 runs. He didn't score at all. Dean Kramer to have 26.5 pitcher fantasy score at 25. Max Meyer to have less than 15.5 pitching outs. He had 18. And Nick Suzuki to have 8.5 face-offs won. He had 4. I mean, an absolute Nico versus Ohio State right there. Like, just
talk about Ohio State. We got Chris Drew in the building, man.
That boy.
What's up, guys?
To sports co-host Chris Drew in the building, friend of the program. How we doing, Chris?
Good, man. My bad it took so long. I was in the middle of some baseball trenches, but now we're back to football, man.
You weren't shoving some burgers down?
You said what?
You weren't eating some burgers, putting on some pounds?
I have not eaten today, unfortunately. But somebody asked me today, who's been the most disappointing team in the entire MLB? You guys get 2 guesses to who I said.
The Braves?
Big Braves.
Yeah, come on. Us and then probably our minor league team. I mean, it's so bad.
I don't.
What about the Rockies, man? What about the Rockies? 3-14 fired their hitting coach today.
They were
It's the
supposed to be bad.
Rockies.
When you're supposed to be bad, like what would I say you're disappointing for? No one thought the Rockies would be any good. With the Braves, they were supposed to be one of the challengers to the Dodgers. I mean, they were top 5 in every offensive metric when healthy. Matt Olson, I used to like to call him an upgrade from Freddie Freeman. He has not been that to start the year. I mean, you guys let Max Fried go, and Strider and those boys were supposed to like see no drop off on the pitching rotation, and Max Fried is hitting another gear in New York right now. I mean, Michael Harris was supposed to be a dude in center field. He's not. And then you guys today called up Alex Verdugo, who to me was a top 5 worst everyday player in all of baseball last year. So
well, can't get worse than Jared Kelnick.
Well, no, he's replacing Brian De La Cruz, who I'm pretty sure was the worst player in baseball last year, if I'm not mistaken.
Well, I mean, like Alex Verdugo is atrocious. I've never seen a man that weighs over 210 pounds have negative power. It's one of the more alarming things I've ever seen. I mean, he's 6 foot, about 215. Last year, playing for the Yankees, had an OPS of 647.
That's terrible.
I mean, he had 233, 291 on base percentage, and I believe was tops in the AL and hitting in double plays. But this is a football show. So what do you got for me today, guys?
Yeah. I was about to say that myself. All right, Chris, what are your thoughts on the Ohio State quarterback battle and transition just coming from the kind of just think about the last 3 years and all the success Ohio State has had and all the rich talent that there has been to look at and to develop within at Ohio State. And now it is finally time for the next generation to officially take the battle. No major transfer. It is strictly inside the program.
Yeah, inside the Woody. No, it's funny that it's like gets referred to as like next generation when we're moving in like 2- and 3-year pockets. I think it's hilarious. Julian saying the crown is heavy to those who wear it, and obviously Ohio State winning a national title. Ohio State having Will Howard go on a great run to end the year, even though he lost to Michigan. The playoff run was really magical, and like now you're Julian saying, and you got to step up into a team and fill shoes of a guy who left Columbus as a national champion. Now, Will Howard was a mercenary. Will Howard was only here for 1 year, and it had that kind of feel to it. With Julian Sand, I think you'll get a little bit more patience. But I think the quarterback battle's over. I think that it was always a fake battle. Last year during the season, Ohio State fans that paid really close attention got to see and witness that Julian Sand passed Lincoln Kienholz as a true freshman. Like when that happens, it's like, okay, we're going to pretend to have a battle, but when Devin Brown leaves, it's really just do your job, and we won't go get a portal guy. Now I know people love Lincoln, love the athleticism, but it's going to be Julian Sand, and he's going to be stepping into a team that loses a lot. The offensive line is going to look entirely different. 2 new tackles, obviously like a new center. Like it's going to look a lot different.
I was about to say that.
The quarterback room, the wide receiver room is going to look a little bit different, but for the most part the same. Tate outside, Jeremiah Smith outside. We all know who that is. But you are losing the ultimate security blanket and the guy who, statistically is the most prolific receiver in OSU history in Emeka. Fortunately, because it was so much route running and just good hands, that's easier to replace than a guy like Jeremiah, who's a monster outside. Running back room. This is where it gets fascinating. Last year's running back room was magnificent. I know that Tate can't stand. I know he can't stand Quinshawn was a great back. Like, despite what you think about the person or about what happened, he's a great back that left and got a ring and wasn't a cancer. Like, wasn't a cancer in Columbus. You can say about what he was in Ole Miss, and I won't argue with you on any of the Ole Miss stuff. He was not a cancer in Columbus. He got his check. He never threatened to hold out. He won a lot of games and was really good. It's going to be his first or second round draft pick. This year's room is different. It's Donaldson. It's Peoples. So you're going to have a new quarterback, a new center, 2 new tackles, and a new slot receiver. I always tell people, new quarterbacks, their success is predicated on how good their team is up the middle. And what I mean is between the tackles, right? Like, do you have good guards to prevent from interior pressure? Do you have good tackles? Do you have good tight end play? Do you have good slot play? And do you have good running back play? Because I think that the guys way outside, that's more of a luxury position. And I think you can make it deep in playoff runs without having luxury guys outside. And I've seen it before. I mean, shoot, when you go to the next level, go to the NFL, you think about all the all-time great receivers. A lot of them didn't win rings, like Randy Moss, ringless, but no one's blaming him. Calvin Johnson, ringless, no one's blaming him. So like that happens. It's the good slot receivers that end up getting rings, like Cooper Kupp. So I think it'll be interesting to see how good Brandon Inniss is for Julian Sand. But it's It's a big deal, man, stepping into Columbus because the expectation is if we're not going to repeat, we need to be a part of the Final Four. And that's what Julian's saying has to kind of accept and try to strive towards.
I'm writing that down. That whole slot.
Yeah.
I'm keeping that up there. I'm going to use that one in arguments.
That's a good one, man. Hey, look, man, whenever people ask you, when you discuss teams, when you discuss your team, when you discuss other people, like you're a Georgia fan. Georgia has always been good up the middle. And when I say good up the middle, I don't just mean offense. I mean running back, quarterback, the inside the tackles, and then you go D tackle, linebacker, safety. That's up the middle all the way because that's where so much of the game is played. And those are the guys around the football. When Kirby went on that 2-year run, that was outrageous. They were great up the middle. Running back play, quarterback. I mean, I'm a big Stetson Bennett guy. Interior we saw the D tackles. We saw the linebackers and Malachi Starks. Georgia was fantastic up the middle. And what that does is make everything else teams do when they have success, it ends up being fluky. No one can attack deep shots an entire game, especially if you're good at the middle. And when teams have to, here we go. If you're susceptible, Keely Ringo was susceptible to getting beat deep. But when you're susceptible to getting beat deep, if you have interior pressure, it makes that play a lot harder, no matter how bad Keely Ringo is outside. So when teams are good up the middle, you have a lot of success. Why, headlines, Ole Miss hasn't always been good up the middle, and that's why Ole Miss has always underachieved given the talent they've had. Like, there's no reason a team with Jackson Dart, Trey Harris, and Quinshon Judkins doesn't win the SEC or doesn't challenge Alabama at some point. And, all right, Q's gone. You claim you upgraded at running back. Awesome. There's no reason that team loses to Florida. They lost to Florida because they have holes up the middle.
Well, the Florida game, actually, a wide receiver was starting at running back.
Yeah, and also in a big spot of the game, not the dunk on Lane Kiffin, a huge spot of the game, you took your best player and leader off the field on a 4th and 1 and direct snap to a defensive lineman. So awesome. Great work from Lane Kiffin to throw that game away. But no, again, be good up the middle and everything else falls in line. And Ohio State is unique because they have talent up the middle, but they're unproven up the middle with the new quarterback.
Right. And Lane Kiffin was just throwing go balls the whole game. He didn't really get into his bag.
Well, that's also not up the middle. Lane Kiffin is his best when it's the RPO stuff over the middle because be good up the middle. It's the same with every sport, dude. It's the same with baseball. Catcher, pitcher, shortstop, second base, center field. You're good up the middle. You're really good.
That's what they were just talking about that on MLB The Show, or not the show, MLB Network. Yeah. They were talking about how second baseman and shortstop, kind of like what the Rangers are doing. Teams are really focusing on that. And it's like, back 10, 15, 20 years ago, you would never see a second baseman have 30 home runs and all this.
No, because it's about the corners. It's about you. Yeah. You want to have big corner guys. You want your third baseman and your first baseman and your left fielder and right fielder hit a bunch of home runs. And you just want the other guy to be athletic. But now teams are looking for the speed power players rather than like the big power hogs. So. I'm a big believer in being good at the middle in baseball and in football. And I got it from baseball, but the more I studied football, the more I'm like, wow, like, here we go. So I think it was about 2019. I went on this obsessive rabbit hole where I sat on my computer and just went down the rabbit hole. Like, why was Tom Brady so good? And it was like, well, yeah, he's great, but they were great up the middle. Slot receivers, guards, linebacker play, D tackle play, safety play. They were really good up the middle. I mean, even the Drew Brees Saints teams, they never had great tackle play. But Drew Brees always had a clean pocket to step into things, and they were good at the slot receiver spot. And it's like that's why we never saw an elite wide receiver win a Super Bowl with Tom Brady. Never. Because it was like, we want the emphasis to be on the guys up the middle. And who else is up the middle? Tight ends. Always had good tight end play.
Rob.
So, yeah, exactly. Like they won with elite tight end play. So you see it, or like these guys that are elite tight ends. Honestly, like elite tight ends end up winning more Super Bowls than elite outside wide receivers. Like Travis Kelce has been able to keep, because here's the added layer to it. Quarterbacks need security blankets. Elite teams have security blankets that turn into home run hitters. Security blankets are always guys that are going to be inside, like up the middle. Travis Kelce is a security blanket. He started hitting a lot of doubles and a lot of home runs. All of a sudden, Pat Mahomes' job gets a lot easier because even if you stop him, that security blanket's liable to take one all the way. And Mecca last year, for Ohio State. Jeremiah's perfect. And obviously Jeremiah might supersede all that. But Emeka was able to do so much damage because he was a security blanket, started hitting doubles, started hitting some home runs. Like, you want those guys that are security blankets to hit home runs. And when that happens, it makes the mark of a dangerous long-term team, because even when you have them stopped, that security blanket drive turns into points. That's why, here we go. One last thing. That's why Wes Welker, to me, is the most overrated receiver ever, and why I think Wes Welker is not more impactful than a Julian Edelman. Wait.
You're right.
What? Hey, Chad, how many Super Bowls do you think Wes Welker has?
He has 0.
Okay, you're not supposed to answer the question if you know. Wes Welker has 0.
I didn't know. I was about to say 1.
No, he has 0 Super Bowls. He had a 6-year stretch where he played with Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. No Super Bowls.
Well, he went over 2.
Both those guys won Super Bowls.
He went over with Manning, right?
Yeah, he didn't win a Super Bowl in Denver. He didn't win a Super Bowl with the Patriots.
No, I'm saying, like, how many Super Bowl appearances did he make?
He won.
He had to. He only made 1.
Yeah, he only made 1 because the Broncos team that won Super Bowl he wasn't on.
What did he come the year after?
Yeah, I'm just saying, like, look, when your security blanket hits home runs, it's almost like a home run part that's an extension of your run game, and that's what you need. That's what every coach should be chasing. I mean, that is why I put so much stock in explosive slot receivers to help out young quarterbacks, especially, and their career extenders. Because it's less, because, a 5-step drop and trying to hit somebody deep is way more risky than the short drop and hitting somebody over the middle and having to make a play. And then additionally, like, all the football theatrics or the next step is, like, guys that are in the box tend to be heavier because they have to be involved in run support. So stiffer hips, not as good. So it's like, if you get a matchup on that, then it's like, okay, I'm able to shake free, turn something into more. I mean, shit, dude, like the Giants, my bad for cussing. The Giants, both Super Bowl runs. The one Super Bowl run, Victor Cruz. Victor Cruz was a security blanket. He started hitting a lot of home runs. Yeah, big salsa guy. Started hitting a lot of home runs. Just saying, man.
You saying that has got me really reminiscent on Ladd and Brock.
I forgot about
that. Exactly. I'm just saying, look. This is the welcome to the Chris Drew School of Offensive Philosophy and how to build championship teams. You're good up the middle. Brock and Ladd. Oh my God. It was Brock is the perfect example. He's a security blanket, but boy, he was hitting doubles, triples, and home runs.
Mm-hmm.
You learn some.
What's your I guess I'm kind of declaring today the first day I'm officially talking about the upcoming season, because I told people to come ask me after spring ball and, like, kind of at the end of the portal cycle. What is your first sense of how the Big Ten is going to turn out this year?
So I have Illinois as my surprise team. They return a lot of production. They're good at the middle, and I think, again, that's going to be the theme of all of my previews. I trust Brett Bielema, the coach. I think that he's done a lot with a little. I also think that the Big Ten is going to take another step forward because the SEC is getting robbed blind and they don't even realize it yet. So they're my surprise team. My favorite is Ohio State. I think that defensively they're going to be fantastic. Despite the losses they've had, a lot of talent stacked up, and they've got the single best player in college football. Oh, and the single best second player in college football. So they're my favorite. My team that has the most danger potential is Penn State. I like their run game. I like Drew Aller more than a lot of people do. It sounds like they've got 2 tight ends that are ready, so I look forward to that. And they brought in 2 transfer receivers, and one of them's got to be good. No more Julian Flemings out there. So that's kind of my quick look at the Big Ten. Michigan, to me, is fascinating. They're about a year away. And then Oregon has the highest boom or bust potential because they're going to have the best pair of defensive tackles in the Big Ten. But I don't know what their quarterback's going to be, and maybe I need to go talk to a couple
Dante Moore.
Go from there. So that's my grouping.
I have Oregon as the. I guess what'd you say Penn State was for you?
Most dangerous.
Yeah.
Most dangerous.
Because they're the most solidly built. Like if they literally, like, they have, if one thing clicks for them, If one thing clicks for them, they are Georgia.
Ooh, that's a all right. Oh, all
I
right.
mean,
I mean, I don't. That's
if
not the craziest take.
I'm saying, think about what they were like. What was Penn State's deficiency last year? Okay, let me. Not Georgia. Right now, they are Georgia before Todd Monken. If one thing flips, they'll be Georgia with Todd Monken.
All right.
Because I mean, if you are calling them like a sleeping giant, that would make sense. Because I mean, that's basically what we were for a good 10 years.
Yeah, there was like questions about your quarterback play, questions about your outside passing attack. There was not questions about your run game, no questions about your trenches, no questions about your defense. I mean, Penn State just hired Jim Knowles. Like, Jim Knowles is a top 3 DC in the sport. They have Andy Kotelnicki, who was doing things at Kansas that I'd never seen done before. Like, they're solidly built. They have, I mean, it feels like they have an Abdul Carter lab over there. And they've got.
They gave 11 to some freshmen, right?
Yeah, I mean,
whoever that is,
he looks like a freak. So it's like they have pieces, and I think that Jim Knowles wouldn't have went there if he didn't think they were going to have a really good defense. I mean, I think AJ Harris is up there too, and I think like at this point he should be a decent player. So I mean, they are like pre-Todd Monken, Georgia. If their passing attack gets figured out, there is no reason they're not a Final Four team. Now they're not going to end up being the most battle tested because there's no Nick Saban Bama to get over. But I do think if Bama didn't exist, that the pre-Todd Monken Georgia team would have won a natty.
We would have won a natty in 2012 if Nick Saban didn't exist.
But unfortunately, Nick Saban exists. And the reason I'm calling them the pre-Todd Monken Georgia is because the same thing I think is true about Penn State. The issue is Ohio State exists. So that is the akin up north. So
we could just never get over that hump, dude. It was
right.
Time and time again, we just could not beat Alabama, no matter what it was.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a brutal feeling, and I'm going through it too. Like, obviously, like, we can't beat Michigan. The difference is Michigan wasn't a roadblock for us to win a natty last year because, they were bad, and B, the playoff is 12 teams.
It's been so weird because, like, we both couldn't beat our rival.
Yeah, but have a natty still in that time frame. So it's like, you can't tell me anything.
Like, you know what?
Yeah, don't even matter. Don't matter.
We beat you. You're 1-6.
Yeah.
What's that one? What is that one?
Yeah, and literally, like, I don't care. Like, no one's going to take the shine off my offseason.
Actually, that one's right there.
Yeah, there it is. Even though you guys were injury merchants, but I won't get into that.
Man, you know,
it is what it is. No, maybe not. I mean, I'm a Jeremiah Smith merchant. But all in all, we're all better than Ole Miss.
Yeah, but I mean, you are right about Penn State. I mean, they were so close last year. They honestly, you could.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have beat y'all. But of course,
no, I mean, we beat them in the regular season in a fashion that was like really suffocating. I know Drew Aller wants about it, and I like Drew a lot too. And also, like, I've met and talked to Drew plenty of times. He's from my area, and so I've been at some of the quarterback sessions that he's been at. I'm just like a huge Drew fan.
So, the more I watch Will Howard, the more I like Will Howard.
Will Howard's cool, mercenary, hired gun.
But the more I watch him and see how much of a football guy he is.
Oh, funny guy, fun guy. Like, yeah.
Kid's really got a good head on his shoulders.
I have a question for you. Do you think that there will be a trickle-down effect and I don't know if you even want to talk about this, but with the Nico stuff, do you think that this will follow him throughout his career if he does go to the NFL? Do you think that this will,
I do. I think this is – it's like when you smell bad and you need to shower, but you don't have time to shower, so you just spray yourself with whatever. Like, this is that. I mean, we've all been there in, like, the 5th grade, Like, he's going to smell like this for a long time. Additionally, like, the bigger thing that I don't think people are talking about is this might have a trickle-down effect that makes the SEC look in the mirror and decide what they want to do. Last year, in particular, or last 2 years, 3 years, actually. I'll go last 3 years. The Big Ten has been closing the gap to the SEC, talent-wise. And the way they have done it is I'm surprised that more people have not talked about it. The fact that the SEC spring portal window is closed off to where if you enter the portal in the spring, you cannot go to any SEC team. All it's done is drive talent in droves to the Big Ten. So it's like, instead of keeping talent in-house, like when those guys make it through spring and lose a position battle, immediately the portal opens and say I'm an unhappy player at Florida. I can't go to Arkansas. I can't go to LSU. And then those kids end up where? If they're not elite, they end up at places like Illinois. Illinois gets really good. If they're not elite, they end up at places like Nebraska. Nebraska wins games. But if they're elite, or think they are, or a big school wants to take a chance on them, the Big Ten says, "Oh, we'll take you." On top of that, the Big Ten also doesn't line up with the SEC because you could transfer from in the Big Ten to the Big Ten with no penalty in the spring. And so, like Nico, him going to UCLA, A, it's going to follow him because of how ridiculous his story was. B, all of a sudden now, Big Ten TV ratings are going to get a bump because SEC people and Big Ten people are going to want to watch Nico fail. And so you're going to get Penn State primetime games. All because this kid went to UCLA. Additionally, if this kid wants to recruit other kids from the SEC, those kids can't go within the SEC. So they can either go to UCLA and believe what he's got out there, or they can go to schools like Illinois, like Michigan State, schools like that. So it's like this spring window, I think more people should be talking about it. It's funneling talent to the Big Ten and funneling money because, again, last year, without Nico at UCLA, no one would give a damn about Penn State UCLA. No one would give a shit about Ohio State UCLA.
I can tell you
now that's going to be the storyline.
I can tell you before you even finish that sentence, I don't give a crap about either one of those games because they ain't going to be close.
But I'm saying those are going to draw audiences no matter what now because it's a
have a lead up.
Yeah, it's a storyline at least.
If Nico goes to UCLA, it's still not finalized.
Yeah, if he goes there, but I think he's going to go there. Don't know. I think they're waiting on a bigger money offer. It's not coming, but for the first, I don't know why. I know why, but Ohio State plays UCLA November 15th. I have no business knowing that, and the only reason I know it is because of Nico. So I think yes, it'll follow him in a big way, and I think it'll follow him because the Big Ten likes to drill into these storylines because that's how they keep up with SEC and ratings wise because they need the multi-layer storylines because they don't have the big just Tennessee versus Bama's every week because it is the Big Ten, and that kind of brand recognition isn't there yet, and so that'll follow him. And then additionally, if he fails, he will be the poster child of the grass isn't always greener. In all walks of life, in certain industries, people become poster children examples. Here we go. In our world, Skip Bayless is the poster child for, yeah, it's good to have hot takes, but when your hot takes go too far, people stop taking you seriously. Right? That's what this is I'm going to ask for money. I'm going to make a bad business move and I'm going to end up at UCLA and I'm going to fail. And there's going to be a documentary about me later on saying, this is why it failed. Now, if you're successful, then it's going to be, look, this is the poster child for strong on your team, get up out of there, and you can go be successful anywhere because it's not about development. It's about the talent I already have. And Tennessee wasn't going to make you a first rounder. You were going to make you a first rounder. So no matter what, he's going to be an example on one side or the other. And when he is, it's just going to follow him forever. But the streets are calling him Ozempic DJU. So I don't know.
Hey, there was a discussion I had about some fraudulent poly quarterbacks and their dads being a little cuckoo.
I won't go that route, but I will say, everything's on Ozempic. The blind side's on Ozempic with Troy Franklin living with Bo Nix, I guess was the rumor. And then this whole thing. I mean, that's like the blind side Ozempic, wide receiver play. And then this one, it's feeling like Ozempic DJU.
Cook.
Shout out James Harden, NBA playoffs soon.
Dude, I can't wait. Did you see that, dude? You know what? Who you got winning the championship real quick? I didn't want to ask. I'm heavily invested in the basketball.
Oh, and on the NBA side of it, I am rooting desperately for the Clippers.
Okay.
They're playing really good ball lately. If Kawhi is healthy, and if you can get 15 good defensive minutes out of Ben Simmons, I would love it. Yeah. They're just playing really good basketball. But honestly, someone held a gun to my head and said predict the winner. It'd be tough for me not to pick the Celtics, I think, but I hate the Celtics.
Yeah. Celtics are OKC. I mean,
yeah, I don't think OKC doesn't worry me as much. I don't know where you stand on OKC, and I'd love to have a basketball debate.
No experience.
Well, that's not even.
They got it last year, though. They got it last year.
I believe the experience thing in the NBA is goofy because it's about 5 guys and it's about a whistle. I don't think Shai Gilgeous-Alexander's play style is conducive to the postseason because the postseason whistle is so drastically different. He draws more fouls than James Harden, and James Harden struggled in postseasons not because he's not clutch, it's because he's used to a different whistle in the regular season, and that whistle changes in the postseason. You can play tougher playoff basketball. So I think Shai, like, get ready for, like, you know, his points per game to go down between 5 and 7 points. And it's like, if he's struggling and that whistle's not going there and those non-shot attempts are turning into turnovers, you could see kind of the tag get thrown on him about not clutch performer.
I agree. I mean, if OKC is able to change their game to play within the playoffs and how it normally changes, because it's slower. It's
a lot slower.
It always is.
You better guard, right? And here we go. My other take is I would pick the Rockets. Now I don't think they'll get there, but I'll pick the Rockets to beat OKC in a 7-game series.
That'd be the Western Conference Finals. That would be
because it's 1 versus 2. And I would pick the Rockets, even though the Rockets aren't even the favorite against Golden State. I would pick the Rockets because Eason and Amon.
Amon, incredible. He's
incredible. Like the best athlete.
Can you imagine if he was a wide receiver? Oh my God.
Dude, he's legitimately a top 5 athlete in the world alive today. It's disgusting. I saw him he picked up Steph Curry for an entire game like 2 weeks ago, held him to 3 points, not just 3 points on him. Steph scored 3 points the whole day. That doesn't happen. Those two plus Dylan Brooks plus a playoff whistle will absolutely have Shai in hell in the postseason. And I don't think the Thunder could overcome that style for 7 games because, like, you see it in the NBA. Teams that aren't physical all year, when they have to bang with a team, you know, games 4, 5, 6, it gets really messy. And so it would be about, can you steal games 1 or 2, and then we're going to wear you down physically for that final stretch. And I would pick the Rockets if someone held a gun to my head.
It's going to be such a defensive battle in that series. If that does end up being the Western Conference Finals, that's going to be 2 massively heavyweight defenses going at it. Like that.
It's going to be.
It's a dream come true. For
I love it. That's 90s basketball, baby.
Yeah, that will literally be a 90s basketball brought back into one because they're not predicated, you know, on threes. It's not, you know.
No, it's not. It's not a ton.
They're completely different from the Celtics.
No, they live in the lane. They play defense. They switch everything. They go over certain high pick and rolls depending on the matchup, and they turn those into traps. Like they are. That's a defensive battle. It's going to be filled with a lot of body blows because they are the 2-point team. So. I hope that's the Western Conference Finals. If it's not LeBron, obviously being from Akron, I root for LeBron again.
That's sick. That's
sick. Yes, sir.
Somehow this conversation has started from college football into LeBron James. You might as well just call us First Take.
Hey man,
dude, I'm well studied across all sports, man.
Me too.
Love Bron, man. Love Bron.
Did you see what happened today in the Cincinnati Reds Seattle Mariners game? Did you see how that unfolded?
Reds Mariners, yeah, I saw Cal. Well, here's two parts. I love early season baseball. The Reds scoring 7 runs, given their offensive disaster and losing a game, is so hilarious.
No, it's the fact that they hit the game-leading grand slam.
Yeah, and
then
lost.
The inning ended, and then the next 2 batters up for Seattle went back-to-back. Yeah, they were down 2 immediately.
And Cal, after that back-to-back, I believe, is tied for first in home runs in the MLB.
Jake Fraley was the one that hit the home run, the grand slam?
Yeah.
He's hitting like 190.
Yeah. Well, it's like a fastball situation, right? Bases later, you're going to get fastballs.
Mm-hmm.
What else was it? You got any thoughts on the Big 12? Chris or Chandler?
I think the Big 12, I think it's funny because I thought one of the Big 12 quarterbacks was going to leave for Tennessee. Avery Johnson, Josh Hoover, Jalen Daniels, or Rocco Becht. I thought one of them was going to leave for Tennessee because why not? But if they all think they have an easier path to make it to the playoff in the Big 12, stay. But I to me, the Big 12 has become the new Pac-12 after dark. So I like those 4 quarterbacks a lot. I love Rocco Becht. And I'm a huge Josh Hoover fan. So that's really my only Big 12 thoughts. I mean, I don't know if you want to even really want to talk about the Big 12 because really, like, the Titans are the SEC, the Big 10, and then whatever Notre Dame.
Texas Tech.
I'm a Georgia Tech fan, dog. They're not one of the Titans. They're like the fighter that you root for on every undercard is what it is.
No, I was saying Texas Tech coming out of the Big 12 this year.
I thought you were saying Georgia Tech. Texas Tech sounds good. Like they invested a lot of money in the transfer portal. Obviously they kept their GM, kept them away from Notre Dame, but I like the wild boy quarterbacks. So I just prefer Josh Hoover over anything they got. So they need to go spend and get one of those boys. But
this is the second year in a row that Georgia Tech hasn't beat us in football, baseball, or basketball. So
yeah, I mean, it's a tech school, bro. Congrats on beating a whole bunch of engineers.
And I will celebrate it every time.
Yeah. But I know we gave you all a good scare. We basically won that game. If you really,
oh yeah, you should have.
If you profession and adjust it, we basically should start the game off with 4 extra points. So the fact that went to 11 OTs, I was sick to my stomach, bro. Shout out Haynes King, dude.
He was phenomenal.
That's Tech Tebow.
That guy's tougher than tough.
Yeah, dude, it's so crazy, bro, because you can see him. The more he gets hit, the more his eyes creep out of his head, bro. So he's got those huge eyes. I actually hate Haynes King, but I do love what he means to Georgia Tech.
Aaron,
I could even hate
great.
Him.
Philo looked great in the spring game.
Oh, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he flashed last year. I was surprised he didn't get an offer and transfer.
I mean, chill on my program.
All right. I don't think I got much of anything else. We were on here for over an hour talking ball about all this.
Bro, I didn't realize you guys were live, dude.
No, I kind of blindsided that with you, but we just kind of went live because we had the time of day today, and it was just why not do it now and wait till later.
We wanted to go ahead and get talk about some topics, do everything like that.
Yeah, dude, it's always good. I always say it's always good to like get the reps, dust off the good old pipes and get it going.
Kansas State.
I'm pretty warmed up at this point, y'all, because I did an hour and a half this morning, and then an hour right when I got home, and then this extra time. So like I'm.
Oh my God! How?
A real trooper, man. Yeah.
2025.
Trying to be. Hey, if you're reading something, read it out loud so we know what your thought process is so I can comment on something.
Kansas State 4-star freshman who was in the class of 2025 is already in the portal.
Portal Wars. So he just got there. That was like the kid from Cal that was a 5-star quarterback that committed to Oregon, like flipped to Oregon on signing day, signed with Oregon, went to Oregon's practice, didn't feel enough attention, so then he flipped back to Cal during bowl prep. So it hit the portal. Wild times.
Did they ever give a reason as to why they denied the scrimmage with Syracuse?
For Colorado? Colorado, the NCAA just said they will not sign off on it. Super corny, dude.
Lame.
That's when Fran Brown said that. I bet if Bill Belichick and somebody else did it, they would be like, "Oh, okay, it's cool."
Oh, they would for sure.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
You like Are you a Rory McIlroy guy? Headlines?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was a cool story. Don't get me wrong. Like happy
corny,
for him,
bro. He's a sore loser, bro.
I think he's corny, but like, I mean, I don't hate him. I'm a fan of his game.
I don't know nothing about anybody's golf.
I don't hate him as a person, but I don't like how he has gone about some things.
Yeah, bro. Shout out. He'll never be Brooks Koepka.
Oh my God. Oh Lord. Oh my.
I don't know anything about Brooks Koepka. I just met him one time at one of his events and thought it was cool.
Well, did you watch the Masters at all?
No, dude. I
missed the cut.
No, I mean, I have his phone number, but no, I have no clue.
Well, he was coming in, so he had an eagle in 15, and this was the second round. He was going to make the cut. He was fine. He was going to play third day, fourth day, whatever. He pars 16, bogey 17, and then 18 is a par 4, so he quad bogeyed the last hole to miss the cut.
That's 18's not a hard hole either.
That's a crazy chuck job. I don't know anything about that. I just know that I was in New York City, and my sister got into it with these people that one of the Masters put on during the Yankees game.
Mm-hmm.
And my sister won.
Nice.
Good sister. My sister lives in Atlanta, actually. That's when I visited Tate.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool.
Chris came down for the natty. But Yeah, that'll do it for the episode today.
Wrap us,
Ladies,
get us out of here. Get us out of here, headlines.
Ladies and gents, over an hour and 20 minutes today. From Lee Corso to just initial thoughts of next season to what some head coaches have said in Ohio State, baseball, golf, Kevin Durant, James Harden. I mean, you even talked about Ben Simmons, man. Put that jumper away. Ben Simmons don't got one of those.
Ben Simmons, the defensive monster.
Yeah. Torian Prince, could you describe me a rebound? Yeah, it's when you go up, grab the hand,
you grab the
ball with two hands, and you bring it down.
Sure.
They got more of those than we do.
Mm-hmm.
Hawks legend.
He's actually doing good on Milwaukee. What? Okay, hold on. One more comment about basketball, because it is pretty historical. Thoughts on Damian Lillard? Thoughts on Damian Lillard being cleared with the blood clot issue? Because Shams was describing it like it was like human nature historical, how fast he recovered.
Well, I mean, it's good. I really do hope that he has recovered like that. Like if he's ready to play in like game 3, game 4, if he can come back that quick, that'd be awesome. And that might save the Bucks. Because I don't know. It's looking a little rocky.
I'm not a medical expert, and I also think Dame gets too much of a pass for never making it to the finals.
He had to put.
I will give him a pass. I mean, he stayed with Portland, so I'm not going to hold it too much against
him. It's like he knew he was never going to.
Like, why does Harden not get a pass?
Because he's been on super teams. He's been on super teams.
Dame never
Brooklyn.
So a team where
forever.
A team with when everyone got hurt and he was there for 1 year.
Oh no, I'm talking about the Rockets.
Yeah, So the Rockets. So he got traded to the Rockets. And the Rockets were never a super team. And the only reason they didn't beat the Warriors and get him a ring was because of Chris Paul's hamstring.
The unluckiest player of all time.
The rest of that team was so trash. They started PJ Tucker, Clint Capella, and they started Eric Gordon.
Hey, PJ, look, not too much hate on PJ.
No. Wait. I love PJ, but that year they got PJ up off the couch because he wasn't on a team.
Yeah,
and then Gerald Green was their sixth man, also on the couch.
You're talking about all-time Dunk Hall of Fame Gerald Green?
Yeah, who should never have any role on a championship contending team. That Gerald Green.
Was he the one that had the R in his braids? Was that him?
Yeah, no, that was Dylan Brooks. Or
no. This was
the original. The original was Gerald Green.
Okay, but Dylan Brooks did do it too.
Yeah,
but then the Bucks picked up PJ. So smart. He was so good at rebounding at his size.
No, yeah, a board monster, but had no business being a top 3 scoring option on a team.
He sat in that corner and he went and got the rebound. And he did that same thing for Milwaukee. And
somehow, he didn't shoot threes before he got to Houston, and that was what they made him work on.
Wow.
Like, so that's where the 3-point thing. That's how that's the only way, because he wasn't a 3-and-D guy, and they made him that by forcing him into the corner and just shooting threes.
The evolution of basketball in the last 10 years is so interesting to me. I hate when people say that it's like everybody does the same thing. No, you just don't watch it, and it's okay. But
you don't even try to watch it.
Exactly. And I get for if I don't know, maybe somebody older, I guess I can understand if they don't like it now, because it is drastically different. But it's not that different. The main thing they did was just take those deep twos and move them back 6 feet. Yeah. I was watching a video. It's like Kevin Garnett. If Kevin Garnett
would have backed up, we watched the same video.
Yeah, right, if he just backed up 2 feet, he would have been incredible.
Yeah, he would have been Brook Lopez.
Exactly.
But the thing is like, and the other part of it, when I tell older people, it's like the game didn't change. People just got better at it.
Yes.
Like back in the day, there was a team only had 2 ball handlers. Every team had 2 ball handlers. Now everybody can dribble. That's how the game changed. People got better. But wrap us, Tate. What are you doing?
I totally forgot Brian Harsin was Cal's OC. No wonder everybody's leaving.
I'm not allowed to speak on what I heard from there, but Ron Rivera is also the GM.
Yeah.
That's what we had just said.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us today. If you would like to hear more of the shenanigans from us, please give Chris Drew a follow at Christopher Drew. Or
I'm easy to find. I'm easy to find, big dog.
Just look up Chris Drew with a K. You'll find him somewhere.
OGKD.
OGKD for real.
OG.
Make sure you give me and Chandler a follow on here on the Headlines account and on Chandler's personal, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. We will be back either next Thursday or whenever.
I'll be at the Falcons draft party.
Oh yeah, yeah. We'll
do
do
it Wednesday.
We'll do something for a mock draft right before it happens. But y'all stay tuned. Thank y'all for tuning in. Y'all have a blessed day.